Hello, welcome back. Welcome to part 3. Thanks for sticking with us. So in the last video, part 2, we showed that we successfully were able to use this command here on screen to get a result that showed the attacker being successful, and we'd found a vulnerability within the code. So here we are, we got the username steve@gp.net with password Ronaldo. Just go back to the virtual machine here. So there we are. We've got the IP address, steve@gp.net, password Ronaldo, one valid password found, which is excellent. Just to prove that this matches the records in the DB, if we go to below the the GP table here, we scroll all the way down and we look for steve@gp.net. Should find Steve somewhere here. There we are, steve@gp.net. We scroll across to find his password Ronaldo. So Hydra has got it spot on there. We've successfully shown the vulnerability. So the big question is, how do we fix it? Now we've shown the vulnerability. So the vulnerability, how do we fix it? So I've done some research and I found these to be the most accessible options in fixing the vulnerability. So these include implementing Google-style Captcha after repeat login attempts, or for every login. We could alternatively block IP addresses after a repeat number of incorrect logins, for instance 5. We can remove predictive behavior, such as instead of returning where we had it say in the past, we had it say, let's just try and write this down for us. We had bad login shown as the error. We could say potentially good login, and that would really throw off anybody trying to look and understand the behavior of the application. We could assign unique login URLs, so they wouldn't be able to use gp/login as the post request, as it would be different for every user, and they wouldn't know, for instance, Steve's specific user login. We could restrict login to specific IPs. We could ban IPs, account lockout for 1 hour, forced password change. We could do forced enhanced password validation on secure new passwords. So we'd no longer have passwords as simple as Ronaldo. Instead, we could force that in future to be Ronaldo with a capital Q, exclamation point, question mark, and a capital X. A couple of numbers thrown on the end as well, just to make it even more secure and reduce the chances of it ever being found within a list of most common passwords. So these are my solutions that I've implemented in. These are actually the wrong way around. So my primary solution was actually here, implementing a Google Captcha. So if we're lucky, I'll be able to show you how this works and the very quick code that is enabled in order to get it run. And if, for instance, this has been disabled by a potential hacker and they're able to get around that, I've also got a backup solution in terms of blocking IP address after a number of incorrect logins. So I'll go over and go to IntelliJ where we've got the code and show you that now. So here we are. We'll just head over to the patient rest controller where we'll just relaunch the Spring Boot application, and we'll show you what it looks like with my changes implemented. In the login form, we've got Google Captcha implemented. So this is a unique site key which I got by registering with Google Captcha. I've then implemented it in. I've replaced it instead of the old submit button. So all submit for logins have to go directly through Google Captcha. I'm just going to open the client up in Firefox. This is hopefully just so we can show that Firefox has never seen the local hosts before, and hopefully it will tell us to validate our request using Google Captcha. That's the aim for today. Just make sure it's HTTPS. Go to /login. steve@gp.net, and then password was Ronaldo. Make sure I'm spelling that right. So I'm not a robot. Here we are, fantastic. So it's validating it with the with Google itself, and it's making sure that we enter this information correctly in order to be able to log in, which is fantastic. There's no way Hydra or anybody trying to brute force this attack from a remote location would be able to do this. It also gives the options of using visual audio aids instead of that, or if we're not quite sure on this one, finding vehicles with squares in them, we can reset it. Go to next. So it's really in depth. It's incredibly impressive, and I'll go and show you how I've implemented this in the code in just a moment. So I'll verify, validate, and log in. Fantastic. There we are. We've validated and logged in. For the final creme de la creme, we'll show you that how it's blocked a repeat attack on Hydra. So here we are. We'll just relaunch this attack. There we are. Immediately, we've thrown off Hydra because it can no longer try and get through and to receive that bad request information because Google Captcha is now involved. It thinks immediately the first password that is tried, because it doesn't receive that bad login information, it thinks immediately those passwords are successful. Oh, hold on, just one moment. I think I've accidentally left on the while loop. Yeah, sorry, I've that's my mistake. We'll just go through that again. We'll just increase the number of IP attempts. Yeah, so that was actually the backup working there, so which is also handy to see. That's the backup hash map I made to prevent IP addresses who attempt to spam, essentially, the user service. So we'll just reboot this in order to get the login attempts set up to say a large number that we won't necessarily exceed with Hydra, which is fantastic. So it's up and running again. We'll go back to the VM and we'll try and run it again. So here we are. Yeah, on this one, we shouldn't get any results. We'll just wait for it to go through its business. It's going to take a little bit of time because we've got 10,000 records for it to go through and for it to confirm that all of them are incorrect. Again, we'll just head over to IntelliJ and we'll just show have a look at some of the sample logs that it's producing for us. So here we are, got a number of incorrect attempts. It's on 129 now. Failed login attempt, steve@gp.net with a root password there, or a binary password there. Password QWERTY. So it's really struggling to get this password.